I think being up earlier means I find more time to record, but you know, finding a quiet time. This is now why I understand why some people I watch film and record only at night. But anyway, more importantly, I'm finally getting around to doing comics. This month's comics that I got. Um, First one up, naturally, going to be the uh, main series one. It's here, a better review on that. Young Twilight talking about or Twilight talking about her times as kid with getting to know baby Spike, which is really cool. Really good one. Went for the subcover, even though the regular cover shows off what the story's about a lot better. But who can't resist little Spike trying to eat an entire scallop shell like that? It's pretty funny. Um, it's told like all through flashback story wise, and starting with Twilight telling Rainbow, and eventually all of the friends show up, and it's basically Twilight's first days at school. Which, if you're a fan of the fandom made comics, there's one of the artists is also doing a series on Twilight's first day of school, and it's a really good one. Really looks professional, and could be made into a real legit comic. Really high quality stuff from there, and so yeah, it's having a more official version, which is unusually similar to the fan version. I mean, not plot points, but just like overall style and tone feel. A few other good notes about it. It brings back Inkwell from the Celestia microcomic. Has all of Twilight's group from the show, so everyone who showed up in the Mending Fences makes at least a cameo. All of them unvoiced, of course, but that's too bad. And then a good little bonus is young Trixie also shows up a lot in this one, so I think that's really cool. Even showing off a potential Trixie mom design. So closest thing we're getting to official stuff here in the comics, whether or not they count or not, it depends on the person. But you got Trixie's mom, you got Trixie going to the same school, and finally in something that's that's way more legit than, say, the card games. They named Twilight's parents, finally calling them Twilight Velvet and Nightlight for mother and father respectively. So so I really like that. That's great, finally giving them a solidified name. I mean, as much as you want to count like the cards and other toys, those are even further removed from story stuff than, say, the comics, the books. So this is the closest to canon we're getting for those things, and I really like it. So yeah, it was a really good one. Really read like a Friends Forever style comic, and really good seeing young Twilight learning and growing like that. So yeah, it was a good one. Definitely recommend it if you're a fan of her, or just like backstory for the characters. So yeah, it's a definite good one. Next one is the Friends Forever for this month. The not the Axe in it, but the two at the bottom teaming up. Shining Armor and Blueblood going to negotiate with the Axe. And first thing that I noticed is the main series gives us the name Twilight, or gives us the name Nightlight for the father, and first couple panels, Shining Armor says straight up says Nightlight's the father. So there you go. Good job, comics, putting their hat behind there. Main story is just them going to negotiate with the X, and it's like, well, Shining Armor is the class act, and we all know Blueblood from the show with how big of a jerk he is, given how even Gilda has shown up in the past 5 seasons since her disastrous premiere. But when you're talking about like negotiations, behaving like royalty, and that sort of stuff, Blueblood was a much more natural choice in Shining Armor. When you get into the story of it, Shining's trying to be himself and definitely not behaving like a royal or a diplomat or a negotiator, whereas Blueblood, he knows how to manipulate and play ponies and really schmooze up and just get what he wants. So he was a much more natural choice, and his behavior came off a lot more natural, a lot more appropriate for the topics at hand. Just he worked better, and for his first real appearance since the first Gala to Gala, he definitely earned his character development, even though it's still has his underlying, he's a pretty big jerk. So he's a bit of a jerk, but he knows how to behave when royalty's on the line, so that sort of works in his favor. We get we get actual show development from like Trixie of she's still crazy and grandiose, but she can still be friendly. Everybody likes Trixie, so keeping her as the loud braggart works. So keeping Blueblood as a jerk, but still showing he can behave, sort of gives it like the trope that Bunny Ears lawyer, where he's crazy, but he gets the job done. Although Blueblood, he's more of a snob, but he knows how to handle the politics. Honestly, my first thought was, if you remember in West Wing, the British ambassador, it's British America, so of course you don't need your biggest negotiator, so it's just this royal who gets to play around in America, travel to New York, see plays, eat all the fancy foods, go to all the diplomatic functions and be treated great. But when something really bad happens that US and England have to team up on, he was always right there on the ball, ready to do all of the speaking for the Queen and for Parliament. So it's just like that's sort of the character that Blueblood was in this comic. Was he might be the biggest jerk, traveling with an entourage and all of this stuff, which is really funny seeing that stuff. But when it came down to actually doing the negotiations with the Yaks, who in the show Twilight had a pretty disastrous time with, and then in the recent Other Friends Forever, Rarity and the Griffins had a pretty horrible time with. Having this one that you really want to see crushed by the Yaks, have him actually befriend them, that's a good change and shows really the kind of person he can be. Although you still want him crushed by the Yaks because of what he did in the official episodes. So, yeah, those are the comics I got for this month. I don't really collect too many other things, and both of them really good. I I think as good standalone stuff, they're both really good ones, and surprisingly so, because I was a little on the fence on the Twilight one when it was announced, and rolled my eyes with the Blueblood one, because it's just like, I don't want to put up with him for this whole thing, and then it's like, oh, hey, he's actually putting his annoying behavior to good use. I think they used that with Trixie in a couple of them. I mean, namely the first her and Rainbow Dash Friends Forever, which was just still one of the best ones, and that's one of the few comic things or things from the comics I would like to have acknowledged in the show. It's just her and Rainbow Dash's adventure with the Diamond Dogs there. It worked. It was a really good story. And, good stories like these. That's it for these reviews. Still working on what I want to say of Daredevil, if I'm thinking about it. New episode this Saturday. And that's about it for this discussion review session.